Jimmy Fortune, born March 11, 1955, in Nelson County, Virginia, is a name etched in country music history, yet for decades, the truth behind his rise to the spotlight remained largely untold. Before the world knew his voice as the tenor for the Statler Brothers, he was a young man from Lovingston, Virginia, singing at a local ski resort, unaware that a chance encounter would forever alter his life. Lou DeWitt, the group's original tenor, battling Crohn's disease, heard Fortune sing and saw something undeniable, asking him to audition in 1982. What began as a temporary replacement became a 21-year journey filled with chart-topping hits, including Elizabeth, Too Much on My Heart, and My Only Love, and performances that carried audiences across the United States and Canada. Behind the harmonies, the applause, and the Grammy stages, there were untold struggles, creative tensions, and sacrifices that shaped not only Fortune's career but the very fabric of the Statler Brothers' legacy. For the first time, Fortune finally speaks the truth about the human story, the friendship, the pressure, and the music that defined an era, revealing what fans never knew about the man behind the voice. Jimmy Fortune grew up in the rolling hills of Nelson County, Virginia, where the quiet rhythm of small-town life shaped the young boy who would one day command stages across the country. Born on March 11, 1955, Fortune spent his early years immersed in the everyday textures of rural life, attending Nelson County High School in Lovingston, Virginia. Music was not a distant dream but a living presence, a constant companion in church choirs, local gatherings, and family events. Even as a teenager, his voice carried a clarity and warmth that drew attention, though he could not have imagined the path it would take. In 1982, a pivotal moment arrived that would change the trajectory of his life. Lou DeWitt, the original tenor of the Statler Brothers, had been struggling with Crohn's disease and needed someone who could step into the group's intricate harmonies. Fortune's performance at a local ski resort reached DeWitt's ears, and in that instant, opportunity met preparation. Initially invited to audition as a temporary replacement, Fortune entered a world that was both exhilarating and exacting. He would soon become a permanent member, joining one of country music's most beloved groups, and stepping into a legacy defined by decades of performance, discipline, and audience devotion. Once integrated into the Statler Brothers, Fortune's life transformed into a relentless cycle of touring, recording, and perfecting the harmonies that had become the band's signature. Over 21 years, he contributed as both a vocalist and songwriter, creating songs that climbed the charts and cemented the group's influence. Elizabeth became a defining track, blending tenderness with narrative storytelling, while Too Much on My Heart and My Only Love demonstrated Fortune's ability to channel emotion into melody. More Than a Name on a Wall reached the top 10 in country charts, showing the depth and consistency of his contributions. Each performance carried the weight of expectation, yet Fortune navigated it with an elegance that belied the effort and sacrifice behind the scenes. Off-stage, the work continued. The Statler Brothers' touring schedule spanned the United States and Canada, bringing audiences into theaters and arenas, yet the behind-the-scenes life demanded endurance. Recording sessions in Nashville, collaborative rehearsals, and promotional duties all contributed to a rhythm of life that was both grueling and sustaining. The discipline that Fortune brought to the group was matched by his artistry, and it was this combination that allowed him to flourish within a legendary ensemble. Recognition arrived formally in 1998, when the Statler Brothers were inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, an acknowledgement of decades of dedication and impact. For Fortune, it was both a milestone and a quiet affirmation of his journey from a small Virginia town to stages that celebrated his voice, his craft, and his commitment to music. In the beginning of his journey, Jimmy Fortune emerges not merely as a singer, but as a man whose talent met opportunity at a precise moment, whose devotion to craft carried him through challenges, and whose voice would become inseparable from the legacy of the Statler Brothers. The stage was set for a career that would intertwine artistry with human experience, producing songs that spoke to love, loss, and the enduring power of harmony. Once Jimmy Fortune became a permanent member of the Statler Brothers in 1982, his life was defined by rhythm, discipline, and the unrelenting demands of a legendary group. The transition was not seamless. Stepping into the shoes of Lou DeWitt, a founding member whose voice had become an emblem of the group's signature sound, required not only vocal precision but emotional resilience. DeWitt's departure due to Crohn's disease left a void, one that Fortune had to fill while honoring the legacy that preceded him. The weight of expectation, both from the audience and his bandmates, was immense, yet it was this very pressure that honed his artistry. Touring became both a joy and a crucible. Over the next 2 decades, Fortune traveled across the United States and Canada, performing hundreds of shows each year. The schedule was relentless, and the life of constant movement tested friendships, endurance, and personal limits. Behind the scenes, rehearsals were exacting, requiring mastery of harmonies and the subtle emotional nuances that made the Statler Brothers' music timeless. Songs like Elizabeth, Too Much on My Heart, and My Only Love demanded more than technical skill. They required empathy, timing, and an ability to inhabit the story of each lyric, connecting with audiences night after night. Within this life of performance, Fortune also carried the responsibility of songwriting. Creating tracks that would be recorded by the group meant channeling emotion into every note, crafting narratives that resonated with listeners. More than a name on a wall, a top 10 country hit exemplified his capacity to blend personal insight with universal experience. These songs became part of the cultural soundtrack of the era, yet they were born from hours of reflection, revision, and collaboration, often undertaken in the quiet of recording studios in Nashville. The years also tested the personal balance of life on the road. While audiences heard polished performances, the reality was a mixture of camaraderie and sacrifice. The Statler Brothers members shared close quarters in buses and hotels, navigating the complexities of human interaction under constant scrutiny. Fortune's presence brought a new energy to the group, yet it also required sensitivity, adaptability, and patience. Each interaction, each rehearsal, each show demanded a blend of professionalism and warmth that allowed the group to maintain cohesion despite the pressures of fame. Recognition came gradually, as the fruits of relentless dedication became visible. By the late 1980s and into the 1990s, the Statler Brothers' influence had solidified, and Fortune's contributions were inseparable from their identity. His voice, his songwriting, and his steadfast presence became a defining feature of the ensemble. Beyond the music, he became an anchor of stability, supporting the group through transitions, personal challenges, and the inevitable strains that accompany a life spent performing at the highest level. Off-stage, Fortune pursued projects that deepened his musical footprint. He recorded in Nashville, participated in collaborative ventures, and engaged with the audience through interviews, television specials, and live events. His commitment to artistry extended beyond performance. He sought to ensure that every note, every song, and every album reflected both the technical excellence and emotional depth that audiences had come to expect. Through these years, Jimmy Fortune's tenure with the Statler Brothers was more than a career. It was a testament to resilience, dedication, and the human capacity to grow within a collaborative artistic endeavor. Every performance, every song, and every tour reflected a balance between personal talent and collective harmony, shaping not only the sound of the group, but the story of a young man from Nelson County, Virginia, who became an enduring part of country music history. As the years with the Statler Brothers unfolded, Jimmy Fortune's role evolved from that of a newcomer, filling an irreplaceable gap, to a cornerstone of the ensemble's artistry. His voice, at once precise and emotive, became synonymous with the group's signature harmonies, while his songwriting cemented a legacy that extended beyond the stage. Songs such as Elizabeth, Too Much on My Heart, and My Only Love were not merely hits. They were emotional touchstones that revealed the human heart behind country music, connecting listeners across generations. Each lyric carried a careful deliberation, each harmony a reflection of countless hours spent in rehearsal, perfecting both sound and sentiment. The 1990s brought both triumphs and transitions. Fortune, now fully integrated into the fabric of the Statler Brothers, navigated the pressures of touring, recording, and public expectation with steadfast commitment. Despite the rigors of life on the road, he embraced the responsibility of upholding the group's reputation for excellence, ensuring that every performance conveyed the authenticity and warmth that fans had come to cherish. Behind the curtain, he witnessed the quiet complexities of his fellow bandmates, their personal sacrifices, their resilience in the face of aging, and the emotional toll of decades spent in the spotlight. Fortune's perspective deepened as he reflected on the delicate balance between individual talent and collective harmony. The departure of Lou DeWitt had been a pivotal moment, one that had tested the group's cohesion and demanded emotional maturity from all members. Jimmy's approach combined humility with initiative, honoring the legacy of his predecessor while infusing new energy and creative vision. His contributions extended beyond singing. He became an informal mentor to younger musicians, offering guidance and fostering an environment of mutual respect and collaboration. Off-stage, his life was a careful negotiation of public attention and private reflection. The constant travel, the demands of recording sessions in Nashville, and the intense scrutiny from fans and media left little room for personal solitude. Yet, through these challenges, Fortune cultivated a sense of grounding, drawing strength from his roots in Nelson County, Virginia, and from the family and friends who remained outside the glare of the stage lights. Music, in this context, was both vocation and sanctuary, offering a space where emotion could be expressed with honesty and care. By the early 2000s, the Statler Brothers approached the conclusion of their collective journey. Their disbanding in 2002 was marked not by conflict, but by mutual recognition of time's inevitability and the personal growth each member had achieved. For Jimmy Fortune, it was a moment of reflection on 21 years of shared triumphs, challenges, and the quiet joy of performing songs that had become woven into the cultural fabric of country music. The experiences of touring, recording, and songwriting had left an indelible imprint, shaping both his artistry and his understanding of human connection. Following the disbandment, Fortune embraced the next phase of his career with a continued devotion to music. He embarked on solo performances across the United States and Canada, maintaining an extensive schedule that honored his commitment to audiences who had followed him for decades. His songwriting remained a cornerstone of his creative life, as did his collaborations with other artists, including the formation of Brothers of the Heart in 2020. Alongside Bradley Walker, Ben Isaacs, and Mike Rogers. Albums such as Brotherly Love, Listen to the Music, and Will the Circle Be Unbroken, released between 2020-23, showcased his enduring passion for harmony, storytelling, and the intimate power of song. Through all of this, Jimmy Fortune exemplified a balance of artistry and humanity. His work with the Statler Brothers and beyond was marked not only by technical skill, but by an unwavering commitment to authenticity, collaboration, and emotional resonance. The career he built was a testament to the enduring power of music, to connect hearts, tell stories, and sustain a legacy that continues to inspire both listeners and fellow musicians alike. After the disbandment of the Statler Brothers in 2002, Jimmy Fortune entered a period of both reflection and reinvention. He stepped into a solo career that allowed him to explore not only his tenor voice, but also the songwriting that had defined much of his time with the group. His performances spanned the United States and Canada, a rigorous schedule that reflected both his dedication and the demand from audiences who had followed him for decades. Each concert became a space where he could honor the legacy of the Statlers while also offering a glimpse into his personal artistry. Audiences experienced the depth of his emotion, the precision of his harmonies, and the warmth that had long been a hallmark of his presence on stage. In 2015, Fortune released Hits and Hymns, a project produced by Ben Isaacs that showcased both his skill as a vocalist and his lifelong connection to the storytelling tradition of country and gospel music. The album reached the top 10 on Billboard's Top Country Albums chart, a recognition not simply of popularity, but of the enduring resonance of his music. The accompanying DVD, Jimmy Fortune, Hits and Hymns, hosted by Bill Gaither, debuted at #1 on the Billboard Music Video chart, capturing the intimate interplay of voice, story, and shared faith that had always been central to Fortune's work. This project highlighted his commitment to music that conveyed sincerity, devotion, and the emotional truths of everyday life. Beyond solo performance, Fortune continued to record in Nashville, collaborating with fellow musicians while maintaining the distinctive tenor and narrative quality that had made him a defining presence in the Statler Brothers. Songs such as More Than a Name on a Wall and others from his catalog continued to receive acclaim for their emotional clarity, their gentle power, and the human experiences they conveyed. He remained a songwriter attentive to nuance, capable of turning both joy and sorrow into melodies that lingered long after the last note faded. In 2020, Fortune expanded his collaborative horizons by joining Bradley Walker, Ben Isaacs, and Mike Rogers to form Brothers of the Heart. The group's debut album Brotherly Love, released in the same year, marked a continuation of Fortune's lifelong dedication to harmony and storytelling. This project, followed by Listen to the Music and Will the Circle Be Unbroken in 2023, demonstrated not only his continued vocal prowess, but also his ability to create a musical environment built on trust, respect, and shared vision. Each recording revealed the decades of experience that Fortune had accumulated, the meticulous attention to vocal blend, and the warmth that had always defined his performances. Through these endeavors, Jimmy Fortune maintained a balance between honoring the past and embracing new creative opportunities. His work was never merely performance, it was a testament to the bonds forged through music, the discipline cultivated over decades, and the ability of song to reflect both personal and collective experience. Audiences encountered a man who had lived the trials and triumphs of a musical life, who had experienced the pressures of fame, the discipline of touring, and the satisfaction of artistic achievement, and who now shared those experiences with generosity and grace. The continuation of his career, whether through solo projects, collaborative albums, or live performances, reinforced the impact of a lifetime spent in music. Jimmy Fortune's journey from a young singer discovered in Nelson County, Virginia, to a celebrated member of the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2008, to a solo artist and collaborative innovator, remains a testament to resilience, talent, and the quiet, enduring power of dedication. His music carried both history and hope, offering audiences a bridge between memory and emotion, between the human experience and the timeless resonance of song. Jimmy Fortune's reflections on the Statler Brothers do more than recount years of music and touring. They reveal the quiet truth of his time within one of country music's most beloved ensembles. From the moment Lou DeWitt noticed his voice at a local ski resort in 1980, to stepping in temporarily and then permanently as the tenor, Fortune's journey was defined by talent, dedication, and an unexpected responsibility. The songs he wrote, including Elizabeth, Too Much on My Heart, and My Only Love, were more than chart toppers. They were expressions of heart, artistry, and the collaboration that bound the group together. For 21 years, the rhythm of life on the road, the shared discipline of rehearsals, and the camaraderie of performance shaped not just the music, but the men themselves. Fortune's later work, from his solo performances to forming Brothers of the Heart in 2020, reflects the continuation of a vision nurtured in those early years, showing that legacy is built on craft, trust, and enduring human connection. What emerges from his recollections is a portrait of collaboration, commitment, and artistry, a testament not to fame or headlines, but to the quiet, persistent power of music, friendship, and the truths only time can reveal. For more emotional stories, check out this video.